Welcome back to Jules Math Tools, where math is made easy. In our session today, we are solving a one-step equation using addition. And if you're ready to see how this is done, let's get started. So in our session today, we are going to be solving a one-step equation using addition. And in our first question, we have p minus 6 equals to 8. Now, when looking at your one-step equation, these questions are typically easy to solve because I like to look at these kind of like a fill in the blank type of question. So you're looking for a number that when 6 is subtracted from that number, it's going to equal to 8. And to do that, we're going to work our question a little bit backwards. So remember that with our one-step equation, our whole goal is always to keep our equation balanced. So we like to say usually what you do on one side of the equation, we do on the other side. Now I know you've seen many workings on solving these equations and the different approaches that are usually taken. Now in this session, I'm going to show you two methods that you can use to solve this type of equation. The first one, I'm going to now add 6 to both sides of the equation. Remember that with one-step equation, our main goal is always, and I'm going to repeat that, it's always to get our variable, which is p, on one side of the equation by itself. And since p is on the same side of the equation with a 6 that's being subtracted, I'm going to perform the opposite method and I'm going to add 6 to both sides of our equation. Now when adding 6, when 6 is added to a minus 6, our 6's will cancel. This will leave us with just p on the left hand side of the equation. And then on my right hand side, when 8 is added to 6, this will equal to 14. So we would say that p is equal to 14. Now here's how we're going to check our answer. Remember that for this equation to be valid, that means that it has to balance when I replace p in my equation with 14. So if p minus 6 is really equal to 8, then that means when 14 subtracts 6, it should equal to 8. And we know that this expression, or this equation rather, is true. So let's try a next example. Remember to feel free to pause the video at any time that you are ready and solve the equation for yourself, and then you can unpause and work along with me. Okay, so let's begin. So for this one, we're going to be taking pretty much the same steps, but I'm going to do it a little bit different. So we have z minus 9 equals to 10. Since my 9 is being subtracted on the left-hand side of my equation, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take that 9 and I'm going to move it to the right-hand side of the equation. Now, when we move the 9 to the right-hand side, this is going to take on the opposite operation. So here, I'm going to be adding 9 on the right-hand side of the equation. And as always, return your variable of z back to the equation. So now we would add our 10 plus 9, which would equal to 19. So we're going to say that z is equal to 19. And remember to check that answer. If z is really equal to 19, then that means when 19 subtracts 9, it should equal to 10. And we know that this is true, so that means that our solution of z equals to 19 is correct. Okay, so there you have it. We just solved two one-step equations involving subtraction, where we use addition, which is the opposite operation, to solve our equation. And remember that with these one-step equation, the good thing is you can always go back and check your answer by replacing your variable with the answer or the solution that you got for the variable. So remember, as always, get some additional practice in, and I'll see you right here in the next video on Jules Math Tools, where the aim is always to make math easy.